In a flipped classroom, there would be two phases, the pre-class and the in-class. This is something everybody would easily grasp. And the challenge lies when you design activities which should go into the in-class activity, and when you prepare the content that would be delivered to the learner as part of the pre-class recorded content, recorded lecture. And we would look at what kind of pre-class presentations can we prepare and what kind of in-class activities are possible in this short video. First, let us talk about designing the pre-class instruction. You know, it can be either, as I said, in the form of a video or it can be an audio. Given the interest of the current youngsters in video, it is always recommendable that we go for a video, and most of them would support that, and for data related reasons probably they might also go for an audio. Now, whatever it is, go for short podcast videos or audios or videos. It can be either a wordcast or it can be a podcast, okay, but let it be short always. 10 to 15 minutes is the maximum duration we go for. Often in a flipped classroom, they go for mini lectures and micro lectures. Micro lectures will be of a 2 to 3 minutes duration. Mini can be around 10 to 15. It's good if you can compress it to 10 minutes, because the longer it gets, as you know, the attention span of the target group and the length of the lecture may not agree with each other. So if you speak for half an hour or something, obviously they turn themselves off and they may not listen, unless you happen to be a phenomenal speaker, which many of us are not. Okay, so the duration is important. It should be around 10 to 15 minutes as far as possible, and you can give them video or audio options wherever possible. You can even use some of those apps and tools which are very common in the social media or in the digital ecosystem, and they will be able to access you through that. Many of them would allow you to have free account and go for a recording, a podcast. A free record of a podcast of a minimum duration is always possible. And make it 10-15 minutes segments and non-repetitive 10-15 minute segments, in the sense that each segment should be capable of being watched independently without any overlap and repetition. And sometimes you can have a sequential arrangement of those videos and audios, and it can be non-sequential too. Okay. And when you prepare those podcasts for your pre-class lecture, you should think about the time available for you to create it. So if you plan it big, sometimes the big plans you make and the time you have with yourself may not agree with each other. So look at the time factor. There are some of those logistical factors you should look into, and the effort needed to use the tools you select. If you are going for a very sophisticated kind of a recording process, and if you are not familiar with the software, it would be challenging for you. So look at the efforts needed to use the tools over there. You can also look at the money part of it, like the cost of the tools involved. If it's too expensive, you cannot go for that. So think about the time, think about the resources you have, all right? And always give a lot of importance to the reusability of the resources which you develop. The reusability. The module you shoot, the module you record, the mini lecture you record for one component, if it could be used for another component, you need to record it in such a way. Think about the repetitive use, the potential for repetitive use of the data you record, the lesson you record. It becomes important because you can save repeated recordings in the future, right? And we should pay a lot of attention to the quality aspect of it, the production quality. The production quality should agree with the expected instructional use later. If the quality is poor, definitely that will affect the manner in which your students, your learners would listen to it. So pay attention to that. Now coming to the in-class activities, you have lots of choices over there. You can go for activities like pair work, like TPS, think, pair, share. There can be class discussion. There could be short group work. Try to go for small groups. Like 4-5 kind of students coming into one group. Jigsaw readings can be given. Scenario based, giving them a particular scenario, a situation, asking them to work on it and come up with solutions which they can. This is one way of giving it. So case studies can be given. As I said, role plays are possible. So go for a variety of activities which are active and definitely which calls for input by drawing from the lectures they have listened. That would be effective. And these are some of the guidelines when you design the pre-class activities. This is actually a very condensed and abridged way of putting it. In fact, each component needs to be taken in a very detailed fashion, which this video doesn't intend to do. Thank you.